Hello everyone, welcome back. Today it's going to be all about eyeliner. I'm going to basically go through different types of eyeliner, how to do like a winged liner, like little tips on how to make it a bit easier for everyone, because I know eyeliner is one of the biggest struggles in makeup. So I just want to delve in and just explore eyeliner. I'm just focusing on black, just to show you a black standard liner. So I've got 4 different products to do eyeliner. I'll be going from the easiest to the hardest, show you different techniques and how to do the liner. So product number 1 will be powder, and powder liner will be just with this black eyeshadow, and this is a sleek palette. This is just the Oh So Special palette. Eyeshadow is probably the easiest way to do liner, just because you've got a bit more control. It's not as harsh, it's not as sharp, but it can create a very nice smoky, subtle line, and you can even wet an eyeshadow to become kind of like a liquid. Next will be pencil eyeliner. So this is just a roll-up pencil, and this is a MAC one, and this is a Fluidline, so it's still quite blendable. Urban Decay do really good ones. They've got the Perversion or the Zero eyeliner. They're really black. So this is gonna be again not as much of a strict line as a liquid or a gel potentially, but this is quite good for blending out smoky eyeliner in your waterlines. Pencils are awesome. Next is probably my favourite way of doing an eyeliner, and that's with a gel liner, and you've seen this a couple of times in my videos. This is Bobbi Brown Black Ink Gel Liner. And then lastly, probably the most difficult way to do an eyeliner is a liquid liner. And this liquid liner is as it's not a felt tip, it's more like a brush. It's a very flexible brush as well, which makes it easier. I'll start with the powder and then work my way through, tell you how I do it basically. And I'll get you nice up close and personal so you can actually see exactly what I'm doing. So I'll do that now. Alright, so what you're going to need is your black powder, and then I think the best way of doing this is probably with an angled brush. Nice thin angled brush that you feel comfortable using. This is a Louise Young 37. I want to position myself so I can see exactly what I'm doing and know what it's going to look like with the eye open and the eye closed. So I have a mirror. They're actually the mirror inside the palette, and I'm just going to hold that literally underneath my face. So it's like coming down like this, so I'm looking down into a mirror. I pretty much always start in the middle of my eye. So with the brush, I'm not holding it in towards my face, I'm holding it sort of horizontally, and this angle of the brush is gonna lay pretty much on my lashes. So just literally just find your lashes, not be scared of the brush, and I go into the middle of the eye and just sort of stamp a little bit of colour. Go back into the black, again, tap off any excess, and then I'm going to move a little bit out. And my eyes really relax as well. I'm not pulling on it, I'm just placing. And I've got my pinky on my cheek here just to steady myself. I keep going back over the line I've just done. Now, to see what I've just done, I was doing it automatically. I had my hand like this, then I'm flicking the brush the other way, and I've gone to the end of my eye, and I'm going back on itself, still laying really close to the lashes, but I'm just coming from the inside, the outside in, and you've got a basic line from the center out, and then you can take it all the way in as well if you want. If you've got quite round eyes and you want to flatten them out and make them a bit more almond, starting from the center looks really nice and really elongates the eye. I'm going to go all the way in just so you can see. I'm not coming up like this, I'm actually really quite low. So it literally just touches the lash line. And I'm holding it really, really gently, just so it can flow and kind of do the work itself. And then if you want to take it into a wing, you can. I want to see exactly where the direction of my lower lash line is going. So if my lower lash line was to keep going up, what direction is it going to go in? You don't want to go too high up because it'll make the line look a bit weird. If If you go too low, it looks like your eye is drooping a bit and it looks really very 20s looking. So say I am just doing this. Literally a tiny little flick. And then again, back on itself, I'm just going to join, almost swooping in. Turn it round again, and you can carry the flick out as long as you want it to go, to be honest. Now, if you wanted to do a liquid liner or a gel liner and you're petrified, do it in powder first, because now you've got a basis of where you want the line to go and how thick you might want it to be. So then all you need to do is potentially just grab your liquid liner and trace over the top really, really delicately. Same technique, just gentle. And if you want to, you can even soften it up more. It's nice on smoky eyes as well. So without anything on the brush, you're just holding the mirror again in front of you, and you're just going to soften the line just over the top of itself. This diffuses out the line, and joining it up with the underneath there. And if you find this bit you got a bit wobbly, just clean it up with concealer. It's really easy. If you haven't done any of your base, you can get a wipe and just sharpen up the line. But yeah, that is a powder eyeliner. So I'm going to keep this on this eye, and on the next eye I'm going to do the pencil. Pencil, I always think actually you've got a little bit less control because it's stubby. You can pick up a brush if you wanted to. If the pencil is soft enough, you can brush the pencil onto a brush. Brush the pencil onto a brush. I'm just going to roll the eyeliner in a little bit of a wipe or paper just to make a little bit more of a tip on the eyeliner. And you'd sharpen a non-twist up pencil. I'm going to go in quite rough and just smudge a line, holding it from below, starting in the middle again, and then working my way out as close to the lashes as I can get, and just being gentle and trying not to go thick right now. Doesn't matter if your pencil's a little bit messy though, because you can smudge it. And notice that I'm not pulling it down. When I'm getting to the end, I've flicked the pencil the other way again and taking it in. You then just want to take yourself a little sort of stubby brush. This is actually a lip brush, but it's quite fluffy. And I'm just going over the top of the black to smudge it out. And again, I'm leaning my finger on my cheek to give myself some stability. So again, this is pretty easy because any bumps you might have made when you were drawing your line is now blended out. You just want to sandwich on the product now until you get the intensity that you want. And you can make it thicker and thicker if you want to as well. You just have to make sure you get a pencil that is really blendable. And with the brush now as well, you can actually take the eyeliner out. So I'm literally flicking outwards. And now I want it a little bit darker at the outside, so I'm just going to go over here, create a little sort of triangle, flick it out. I'm just pulling really gently in and out. Just want to take this in my inner waterline. This is never very pretty. You can just lift your lid. You can actually close your eye onto the pencil. This is going to make your lash line appear a lot thicker and blacker. Again, I'm just going over the edges. This creates such a sexy sort of look. I'm just sweeping the brush to create a sharper line. You know, don't be afraid to also use your fingers as well to just guide where you want it to go, and then you can clean up afterwards. As long as you're not being too rough and prodding your face, it doesn't matter really, you just want to feel comfortable doing it. You know, with pencils as well, you can create like cut creases because you can trace out the line of a crease. See here, I bumped a little bit, and I'm just gonna keep blending it until I'm happy. Good thing to have on you as well is some Q-tips, and just, again, you can sharpen the line with that if you don't want to use your finger. And on the top as well, you can even drag it on there. Obviously, I've taken this one out a little bit longer. So there you have pencil, eyeshadow. Now I'm gonna take this off and I'm gonna show you gel and liquid. Sorry if my eyes look a little bit red, I've just rubbed them. Try to be gentle, but I have rubbed them. If you don't wanna do a liquid or gel straight on its own, then go in with a pencil first because it will sit on top nicely. So gel is my favorite because I find I have a lot more control with gel. I have the intensity of the black that I want. You don't get as many wobbly lines because I find it's a little bit more like painting. And you could use an angled brush like you did with the powder, but I actually prefer to use more of a paintbrush sort of style thing. This is a Louise Young, oh no it's not, this is actually a paintbrush. It just goes into a really nice tip, and when it's coated with the gel, it goes super nice and fine. Literally with the gel, I'm just gonna swirl it in and then brush against the edges of the gel. Okay, so I've just brought you even closer just so you can see this. And you can even take a little bit on your hand just to make sure there's not too much on there and you've got a nice point. Again, take your mirror underneath you and you can keep moving it from underneath to sort of eye level. And again, I'm gonna start in the middle of the eye. So, laying the brush, putting my finger on my face, laying the brush on top of my lashes, and then back until you can feel the skin. And then pull, just a tiny bit. You don't want to be tracing the entire eye, because that's when you're going to get drag lines. And then I'm working my way in, so just go a little bit before the last line, and join into it again. And so on, until you hit the inside. Again, I'm not going in like this because you're gonna get loads of wobbly lines. Now, I'm going on the outside, little flick, and loads of little ones as well. Now, I'm not taking anything extra on the brush yet, and you can plot a line if you want to instead of going in just freehand. So again, looking where the lash line will carry on going, I want it to end maybe about here. So trace, 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 and then stop about there. I've done a really fine line. Go back in with my gel, and I'm turning the brush on itself again. Go to the end of the eye first, and join up with what you've done. Now I'm going back the other way. I'm just gonna join up with this line here. Really, really gently if you can. I've gone back on myself again. Just pulling it into the line. So at the moment my mirror is just below eye level, so I can see what my eye looks like a little bit open and closed. So I've got it quite rough right now. I'm just playing with it. I think if you go in really thick, that's when you have problems, because then you get all messy and you're trying to take it off and it's a nightmare. A thin line is just a good base. So I'm pulling from the bottom of the eye up and then doing little flicks out. Take your Q-tip, pull very gently. That is more gentle than it looks, trust me. And just make sure that your brush is flat, so I'm just going over my hand again. The thinner and smaller your brush, the better. Right, so I've got a super fine line now, and now all you need to do is just build up on it. So I want to show you like a good wing. So I'm going from the tip and back into itself. Can you see how it's dipping in here? I want to flatten this out a little bit. And this I'm doing with my mirror a little bit higher up and my eye open so I can see where it wants to join. Because my eyes are hooded, this means it's going to create a slightly different shape than when my than if my eye was more of a wider eye. I'll show you what I mean now. So where this crease is, I want to join my liner basically into it and stopping. I'm not joining the rest yet. So you can get the thickness of the liner. Pull it out as far as you want to pull it out. Super light-handed. Remember, stabilize your finger on your face. So now we're left with this weird sort of gap, this like triangle thing on the end of my eye. And now I just want to join that bit with the rest of my eye. So I'm going to take my brush, again laying it into me, so I'm twisting my wrist. And this is going to go literally down. And then you just join. I need a little bit more liner. You just join the right level of thickness. And now it looks a bit flatter on the top, so I just need to round that bit off. And I'm twisting the brush sometimes as I'm going, just so I can use all the product on the brush. It literally just takes practice, and you're only doing minuscule little movements with your brush. Just you keep looking, you do a stroke, then you look back with your eye open and just look into a mirror and see, and relax your eyes as well and your eyebrows. Just see where you want to go, where the bumps are, and you're pretty much tracing on top of what you've done. We're going ever so slightly higher if you need to. So that is a basic flick for a gel liner. Literally the same principle for the liquid liner. I'd just say you just have to be a bit more careful with liquid. This is the Laura Mercier one, the Caviar volume. And because it's so fine is why I like it, because I can build up as thick as I want and not have to worry too much. Whereas if the liner is already, like the felt tip is already thick, it makes it a lot more difficult. And it's just stressful otherwise. You don't want it to be stressful, it's makeup at the end of the day. So again, now, because it's the other eye, I'm flipping the pen the other way. So I had it this way for my right eye. For my left eye, I basically put my fingers the same way. It's like holding a pencil backwards. It's just resting between my index and my middle finger. And then my thumb is holding underneath it, so it's stable. So again, I'm just tracing back on itself. So yeah, I've changed the position now because I can lean my finger on my face to do the inside part. And then, like I held it the other side, to do the outward part of the eye. Again, I'm going to look straight into the mirror and see and try and copy where this one's gone. So I've gone out from my lash line to this side. I want to go out from the lash line as well, and I just keep looking back to the other eye. I'm not just turning my head and just trying. I'm looking straight on and just keep looking. Really, really fine, so you can fix it if you want to. If you don't get it perfect the first time, you can alter it slightly with your Q-tip or concealer or whatever, so that I'm tracing in from the line into what we've drawn. Creating that triangle. So now as I'm looking forward, I can tell this one is actually a little bit lower than this one. So I'm just going to make sure, if I can wipe it yet, the direction is going to go a little bit up. And I've just flicked it just before it's dry. So I'm joining in again with the crease. So I've made a little gap, and then I'm going to join in. That's the other reason I find liquid liner more annoying, is because products dry out pretty quick. I don't like that about that. I'm just going to go in and adjust again. And if you've got a freestanding mirror as well, you can pull your eye if you want to, just ever so slightly, to sharpen it if you'd like. So it's just a little bit thinner in there. So actually the gel in this instance is actually darker than the liquid. So there you have 4 different types of eyeliner and how to do a flick or a wing, whatever you want to call it. They're fairly even now, but I just want to even it up, but I'm going to put a bit of gel on top of this one just to get it the same blackness so that I can finish the look off and show you the full result, because otherwise it just looks a bit weird. I'd say with liquid liner as well, it's a little bit more shiny than gel, if you want more of a shiny lash. This is just so much blacker though, I love it. And I'm gonna bring a little bit of the pencil eyeliner underneath the eye, just to join the two together. I'm gonna smudge it with my Q-tip. If you wanna get that super sharp line, I'd just grab a concealer, just put a little bit on the back of my hand. Taking this is a flat eyeshadow brush, coating both sides of the brush here. And it's literally gonna go on the edge of the concealer and just lay it flat. And drag upwards in one motion. And then just take a blending brush and just blend the edge out. It just leaves you with a much sharper line. Just notice this one's going up ever so slightly more than the other one, so I'm just gonna fix that a little bit. So I can sharpen up the top edge as well. The concealer almost drags out the liner even further as well to give you a really soft point. So I'm just fiddling with it really, really gently, just adding a bit of liner where I need to, a bit of concealer underneath, and I'll actually conceal here as well. Just tidies up the look. Yeah, so just need a little bit of mascara now just to tie this all together. I've just got a bit of roller lash. So there we have it. It's 4 types of eyeliner for you. I really hope you found this helpful. Please let me know in the comments if you succeeded, if you've got any more questions for me on eyeliner. Obviously it's one thing knowing how to and another thing knowing how to teach it, and I really hope that I managed to sort of explain myself and show you exactly the process of what I'm doing. But yeah, don't let it stress you out, because at the end of the day, it's makeup. If you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up and a subscribe, because it really supports my channel. And I'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye.